How's everybody doing tonight? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another TC Talks podcast. We are now many episodes in.
Number 20.
Number 20.
Wow.
Wow.
20. We've done 20 of these bad boys.
Really?
That's crazy. 20.
Yeah. Wow.
I need to bring up this music a little bit behind you guys. Because I want the listeners to listen to this. Not for long, only for like 3 seconds, but they need that music in the background. So guys, how are we all? Jay is deciding to make a runner from
bigger
his...
than the frame, yeah.
Yeah, what is going on?
Stu's like smaller.
On smaller,
I mean, I guess it levels itself
It's
out.
to scale.
Yeah. So guys, welcome in. This is TC Talks. We are the TC podcast team. You have the usual suspects this week again. Is this like the 4th week in a row that there's been like everybody on, apart from you, Dan?
Yes.
Yes. Because you left us that 1 week.
I can't remember why.
No, I can't remember why either.
Playing games.
So, but this week we are talking. We're going to cover the news as per usual, and then we're going to talk accessibility.
Yes.
Yes. Which is a big thing in gamming these days.
Yeah.
I think we're quite fortunate within the team that we have 2 colourblind people that look after the graphics.
Yes.
On the 3,
right.
you know.
That's diversity.
Yeah,
That's
diversity.
that is
We have put the colourblind people in charge of making our graphics that you see on social media.
You've ticked all the boxes we need to with that.
We have really, haven't we?
Yeah.
Wait a sec. I just got a plunk. What is going on with Jay's head?
What is going on with my head?
I mean, that's
do you know what?
Harsh.
I don't
that's a bit
know.
harsh.
It's bad genes, I think.
Bad genes. You want to sort them out, didn't you? Away. Right, let me shrink you down because I've got a feeling you're probably gonna go really small, and then I'll go and rescue Stu Pot from his smallness. Ooh, my Chinese has arrived. That's not fair. But yeah, this week we are talking
I think that's
about.
my fault.
Yeah.
I ordered Thai food, so I suspect that
Nice.
influenced that order.
Get your head in the box, Jay. That's it. Look at that, Lieutenant Hogchops.
Better, innit?
Tristan has come in to listen today. Where have you been? That's all I'm going to say. Where have you been? But yeah, so we're going to cover the news. We're going to cover all sorts of stuff like that. But are you guys watching on stream? Are you all watching? Is everybody watching?
I am
Yeah.
watching. Do you want to put the sound on?
Yeah, you're going to need the sound for a second. You might just want to put the sound just for a second. Okay, this is a new feature. Not a new feature, but a new addition.
Welcome.
There we go. Beautiful.
Ooh.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
See? I told you that one day we would have a nice little animated
Yeah.
and sound
You're
effect.
right.
And I like the sound effects, all voiced by yours truly.
I was going to say, who kicked you in the balls to do that?
Oh, yeah, that one, nobody kicked me in the balls. I just sat on my left testicle.
Oof.
It was whilst I was at the gym today. I sat down on the elliptical spinner. No, I just put it on a voice modulator.
Wow.
I was enjoying the story, if I'm honest.
You were.
Yeah.
I'm worried at how much
Sounds
you
like
were
a
enjoying the story.
I was just wondering who you're saying welcome to at the gym.
Yeah. Welcome.
He's just the guy in the corner on the machines that no one dares go near because he's just going, welcome! To himself.
Yeah. I mean, I was right
Don't
next to
need that guy in
the
the corner.
entrance.
Oh,
You know,
maybe
just-
they
just-
thought you was like on reception.
Just on reception.
We're very friendly at this gym.
Yeah. Hello. Nice to see
It's not
you,
even
Dan.
open.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure why he was holding his balls while he was welcoming me.
I'm friendly. I'm nothing but friendly, okay?
We all know that, Stu. We all know that.
Well, there we go. So, guys, as per usual, this is the welcome portion of the podcast. I have to remember to call it a podcast and not a stream, because
Yes.
this is a podcast. Even though we're streaming it,
Yes.
it does go out as a podcast. So, oh look, Jay's
I've
disappeared
shrunk
now.
Again.
What the hell are you doing, Jay?
What are you doing with our overlays?
I mean, I'm definitely getting my money's worth on these on these overlays.
Stu, make him bigger.
Like really big, like just the whole screen type big. So, but yeah, the welcome. So this week, I want to know if you've been anywhere and whether or not you wore your mask. So who's going to go first? Jay?
Yeah, I go to the post office semi-frequently because of my wife's business. And yes, I do wear masks partly because she makes them, which is convenient, and they're really geeky, which is an added bonus.
It's like double
but yeah,
convenient.
I'm a very much wear your mask, be like Batman.
Yeah.
Kind of person.
I like it. Dan?
Yeah, so I've been out and about a few shops wearing masks. Luckily, Lauren makes them as well. Oh, she's a dab hand and stuff like that.
Competition.
Yeah. I've got some bamboo silk face masks.
I mean, if both of you want, if both of you want to get your respective partners to send me a review sample, I'd be more than willing to review them. You know.
We can arrange that.
See, that one looks like it needs to have like a little slit in the middle for you to put your tongue through.
I
like it.
That defies the point.
No, I know. No, I know.
Stinky.
I know. It would defy the point, but you know, it would be quite funny.
I think I need one of them, Jay.
TC Branded. Do you know what? I was this close to ordering a face mask with the Thumb Culture logo on it. But then I didn't because
could probably do that for you.
the thing is, I wouldn't want
if
it
only we
as...
knew someone with the technology.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it as a big logo in the front though. I'd want it like as a side logo, you know, just like a small one. Although I was almost very, very close to ordering a McLaren F1 team face mask today. But that was like €36, and I was like, no. Not when I can get them for free.
I'm kind of thinking I want Jay to print me a Mortal Kombat mask now. A 3D printed one.
A 3D printed one.
Yeah, I've been looking at 3D printed things. I was going to 3D print the Bane mask.
Oh, lovely.
That's good, yeah.
Could you imagine the looks that you would get, even more so than you do already?
It'd probably be a relief for a lot of people to not have to see my face. So.
I mean, we get to see your face in many, many guises currently. But we'll cover that later. We'll cover that in a separate section. Stupot, what have you been up to? Where have you been?
I've only really been to the shop because it's not actually mandatory yet in Wales to wear face masks.
Well, that's actually a good point, actually. Yeah.
Get ahead of the curve.
But I have been wearing a mask. I bought a quote-unquote special one with like a wire in the top, so it fits nice underneath my nose so it don't steam my glasses, and it actually works, to be fair. But
really?
My beard is a bit bushy, and I couldn't quite get it underneath the chin from where my nose was, so it worked. But when I went to Bristol the other week, I was fine. But if I went to Tesco's, I get some absolute stinking looks when I wear a mask. It is not cool.
It's probably not because you're wearing your mask. It's probably because it's like pissing down with rain and you're wearing shorts and a vest.
Yeah.
That's probably why you get the
I was
looks.
actually wearing flip-flop shorts and a vest.
There you go. There you go.
To be honest. Yeah, I was doing that. Oh, and a hat as well. So
yeah, I've got a feeling that might be why you get the looks as opposed to the mask.
I think if he'd have worn
Perhaps
sunglasses, they'd have just thought, actually, he's committed. He's going for the full look. We won't give him a funny look.
Yeah, he got his summer holiday cancelled, so he's living the dream in
pretty much
Llanelli.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to holiday this year. It's all been cancelled, so yeah, living the dream.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we took a little trip to IKEA, and it was surprising how many people weren't wearing a mask.
In IKEA as well.
And I silently judged them all.
Good.
With your eyes.
With my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. When I went to Bristol, I didn't feel bad. Most people did wear masks, but in Wales, nah, nobody cares. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask, innit?
Yeah,
if I'm going to catch it, I'm going to catch it.
Pretty much. I'm sure half of them just want it at this point, I think. I don't know. Who knows, some people.
How is everybody's cats? Because I know that you all have cats, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you looking after your cats? Because with the first reported case of COVID-19 cat illness in the UK, are you looking after your cats, making sure they're wearing their masks?
To be fair, my cat doesn't like going outside, so...
Your cat is like you, Stu.
Does it wear a vest?
That'd be amazing.
I know, yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
I'm starting to think your cat needs its own Instagram.
Yeah, she is
probably...
quite fat. So that'll be quite fun. Actually, follow my wife on it. She does post a lot of the cat on it, so you'd see it on it quite a bit.
I was going to make a joke, but I'll refrain.
We all thought it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jay's looking down, so he doesn't.
Yeah, Jay's like, oh no. Right, and yeah, so it's been an eventful week, really. It's been a good week in general, I think. I think most people have had a good week. Did you hear in the news that you can have a £50 voucher now to get your bike fixed?
Only in England at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not broken.
Then you don't get the £50 voucher to get your bike fixed. What if you don't own a bike?
I'm going to go break it.
I don't know. I need a bike.
Borrow mine, Jay.
And then get the 50 quid.
Yeah.
But I think it is coming to Wales in August, so I will be doing out my bike.
Yeah.
It's just so behind over here. It just doesn't make sense. It hurts my head. Why? You're
literally in a third world.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, first thing. Do you know the worst thing they ever did for Wales? Take away the toll fare over the M47 bridge.
I actually quite like that. I don't have to pay to come back home now.
No, I know, but you know.
I mean, surely you should be able to get like a card that you just flash and be like, yeah, I'm
with the company. I is with the company.
Yeah. I wish.
Just a little badge with a dragon.
When I worked in Bristol,
yeah. Or just like a special hand signal. You just go as you drive past.
You have to form a dragon with your hand.
Yeah.
Death.
Whoa, all right, calm down.
I mean, that's a whole new level, Stu.
Yeah, I mean, whoa.
I'm starting to think I don't want to go to Wales now. It sounds dangerous.
Now, we all just give you tea and cheese toasties.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Bit of Welsh rarebit.
A little bit of Welsh rarebit, yeah.
Oof, I do love a nice Welsh rarebit. Unless it's got too much mustard in it. Then it's just not pleasant.
I put the bread down, get toasted with a little cheese and Worcestershire sauce on top.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
I put the Worcestershire sauce on.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, beautiful. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, we've now caught up with what's been happening, and now we're on to the news.
News time!
Ding, ding, oh.
And there is the new news time sound effect.
I don't have to do a sound effect.
Nope.
I mean, you still did.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I'm like, oh, hang on. Wait. Next week I'll remember. Not bad news this week. The cool little news tidbit I saw on Reddit. I know Jay was talking about earlier. Luigi was found in Super Mario 64. Apparently, all the code has been leaked for probably all the ROMs are going online, and apparently he was there all along.
Hiding in plain sight.
Hiding in plain sight. Hidden.
Nintendo have had some kind of something that everyone keeps calling a giga leak.
A giga leak.
There's been Zelda been leaking from it. It's been all sorts been leaking from it.
I want to fix that leak, really, didn't they?
Yeah.
I want to find Dynarod. Dynarod. I'll do it.
We'll just ask the Mario.
Mario or Luigi Mario?
Mario, of course.
Oh, okay. You right there, Jay?
Just that movie.
It's not. I mean, it's not a great movie, but if only you were here on the video game movies podcast, Jay.
It's not
must have been a short podcast.
Oh no, we talked the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. I actually do. Mine's Super Mario film. Whatever.
Well,
anyway. Fun.
So Mario 64, Luigi was in there all along.
Where was it?
Yeah.
Where was it?
In the source code.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
effectively,
You can actually see him.
Apparently, they're
Well-
actually building the character. Somebody's actually putting all the models together. I don't know if they'll be able to put it in the ROM. I don't know, but they're putting the models together anyway, so that's kind of interesting as well. So like everything's there.
yeah, effectively this leak has leaked all sorts of deleted content from Mario and various Zeldas and things like that. So they've managed to.
Tristan said he was furloughed. I like it.
Yeah.
So
Further back in 96.
So they've managed to stitch together the model, texture him with the texture that's found, and you can render him as a character.
Yeah, basically. Which is
I'd
kinda
imagine someone will shove him in a mod so you can either play as Mario or Luigi.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
definitely.
Somebody out there will do
Be
that.
interesting if someone made a cool like co-op version where it's two-player
Yeah.
and you actually get to run around. In a mod, it's probably doable.
What would be better as well if they made it co-op, but had it so that you were solid, so you could nudge yourself, like your teammate, into like the enemies and stuff. So it was almost like a cooperative. What do they call it? A competitive cooperative game.
Yeah.
Because I would so knock down off the edge of every single cliff that we come across.
That's harsh.
It's true though. It's true though.
You have to catch me first.
I could catch you.
Prove it.
I would catch you if you fell.
Prove it.
I can't. You're too far away. And we're not
Just gonna
social distancing.
jump into your arms. Next time we see you, I'm just going to run and just jump.
Catch me. I will literally just go whoop.
Think quick.
The next news.
Go for it.
The clowns won. Jay, the clowns won, mate. The clowns won.
Well done to the clowns.
I know. Red Dead Online has finally had its first update since November. First big update, which is the patch notes. It's like an essay. It's just so many fixes and all sorts. They even brought in new roles. They've done a lot of stuff, but it's more of like, you get like World of Warcraft where you get like a 0.2 and it's like a good chunky update like that. It's more like that where I think a lot of people are expecting like a big DLC update, and it isn't.
More tweaks rather than a...
Yeah, there's a lot of tweaks. There's basically fixing like everything. Like the list just goes on and on, like fixed. You just keep scrolling. But like obviously they brought in like a new role called the naturalist. So you kind of look at animals and do different. It's kind of cool little thing, kind of combined with hunting, that kind of thing. So yes, that's huge. It was everywhere online. It was even trending as a hashtag today on Twitter. It was that big. But
I really hope they've added some kind of clown-based Easter egg in there, like a skin you can unlock or something.
Yeah, I hope so too. There's no mention of it, but I'm sure I give it by tomorrow morning. There'd be somebody would have found it or something,
There should be some like face paint for a horse.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. I was surprised there wasn't nothing in the new season pass that they brought out with it. But yeah, it's a good update. Some people are already whinging going, but I think they were expecting a DLC update rather than big chunk update. But it's good. It's good news. Hopefully they'll keep on doing it, which would be kind of nice. And the last bit of news, obviously the aftermath of the Xbox showcase from last week. Really?
I like that, the aftermath.
The aftermath.
That's a good way to put it, I think.
Yeah. I thought there was some cool little tidbits coming out of it, mainly because I was mainly looking at the PC side of stuff. And the Game Pass is looking good. 30 plus games come to Game Pass?
Yep.
Basically, everything that was shown was going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, that was the crux of it. Everything that was shown is a Game Pass game. And it kind of shows the two different directions going on, because you've got Sony saying, obviously, here's our hardware. You need to buy this to play this stuff.
Yeah.
And Microsoft obviously have the slightly better, basically the same, but slightly better hardware coming out. But equally are saying, actually, it doesn't really matter where you play.
Oh, you did,
But
you
You
did.
can play
So
on what
thank
you want.
you.
You can buy this hardware.
Even on
You
mobile
can
as well.
your old
the
one.
xCloud.
Yeah, you can stream it. You can play it on your PC. So very different approaches, really. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely.
A service versus a bit of hardware, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So apparently, just to jump in, Carl is in the chat. Apparently his version is at 0.9 meg download, and it's all of our fault. But thank you for the host anyway, buddy. Appreciate that.
That's actually
I mean,
worse
you
than
know.
my internet.
Yeah, I mean mine's fine currently, running at 200 megs down and 22 up. So,
I reached 31.7 yesterday.
whoa, hold on.
We were flying.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Xbox showcase though. I'm excited to see how this works, and I have to admit that seeing the showcase and seeing what they're proposing, like what you've always said, Jay, Xbox is about the service as opposed to the console. It's almost and with the Game Pass as well. I mean, was it you were surprised today, Dan, that Microsoft Flight Sim is coming to Game Pass?
I mean,
you?
Look how much money they could have got for that game.
Yeah.
Most people who have got most Microsoft fans will have the Game Pass, hands down.
I actually
So they
saw
could
a
have made
piece
a
of
fortune.
news. I actually saw a piece of news on my Google News thing about the Game Pass, and it says, "Where are you?" I remember I had to scroll down quite far because it's quite. No.
It's a busy news period, isn't it? So.
It is, yeah. It's new console time, so we get a little bit of tidbits and all sorts of things coming out.
But basically, they were saying that they're not expecting to make any money from Game Pass.
Yeah, I think they're kind of adopting what Netflix did. They're trying to get everyone there.
Yeah.
And then they can start introducing, different developers to it and all this sort of stuff. So I think
there's nothing to say that they won't do a Uplay Plus style premium Game Pass membership in the future.
Maybe.
Because obviously the Game Pass for PC is still beta, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Which is why it's only like £4 a month.
Yeah. I think Phil Spencer did say that they're not going to up the price of Game Pass. I mean, I'm sure at some point it will go up in the future, but I'm pretty sure.
The thing is, it's $7.99, isn't it, for the Xbox per month, and it's $3.99 a month for the PC.
Yeah, or it's like
crazy cheap, isn't it? Really,
a tenner or something combined, isn't it? If you get
the ultimate,
one. 10 or 11 quid, something like that.
Even if they charge like £15 a month, just for the sake of all platforms, and obviously Xbox, if they did drop all the gold, you don't need to play online. Everybody's going to jump on now with the amount of games are coming out with it, surely.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, even
where...
the Destiny 2 DLC is coming out for it, and it's cost progress. So if you got it on Steam, you don't have to buy the expansion. Well, that's like 30-odd quid saved, right? For people like that.
It was interesting as well looking at the flight sim stuff. And I saw some people commenting, because you can obviously buy it separately, if you don't want to get Game Pass, which is another advantage. Because
I think the cheapest was 45, I think, and that's the base version.
With Game Pass, though, sorry to speak over you, Stu. Don't on Game Pass though, don't you get a discount if you buy the game as well? So if you get like say Microsoft Flight Sim, you get the standard version for free. Do you get that 20% off of like the top version?
Yes,
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Because that
and
is
DLC and things like that.
Yeah. You get discount.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, but the interesting thing specifically with Flight Sim is apparently some of the competitors out there in the field that people play are like hundreds of pounds for a base version, and then you're buying the separate planes and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft have come out with it at just the price of a normal game, really, and the basic ones in Game Pass. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
I mean, if you look at it, Microsoft have always been ahead of the game with online play, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's like, could potentially Sony do something similar maybe a couple of years down the line next year when they see what they've
got PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
I don't find it as good.
It's not.
But you've got to use the PS4 controller or PS3 controller just to play it, haven't
but
you?
no, you don't. You can.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't you use keyboard and mouse for certain games? But yeah, you would have to use the controller for that service. But even the PlayStation Now, the games library, it's only just started to see Like it's only just got Spider-Man on there.
Yeah, they don't
you think
launch
how
the
long-
games in the service.
Yeah. Whereas Microsoft are like, you know what? All of our new games, Game Pass.
Literally everything. Halo,
Crazy,
that.
isn't it?
Halo alone, if they didn't put that on there, the amount of people who buy that would be bonkers.
Yeah.
For that to be part of Game Pass.
It's that
Isn't
thing
it?
though. Could you, if you look at it from a financial standpoint, right? So, say a game costs you £40, right? You buy the game, you go, bang, there's my £40, or you get Game Pass for 10 months to play that game, as
I was
well
saying,
as the
especially-
library.
Yeah, especially with stuff like Halo, Flight Sim, Forza. These are games that you don't just play for a week and put down.
No.
These are games that you'll play the campaign maybe in Halo for a week, and then you'll get into the multiplayer and you'll probably keep playing it, and they'll keep updating it, and you'll just keep going back and back and back. Getting Destiny on there. I'm not a big Destiny fan, but it's the same principle. People
Yeah.
just
that's
hammer
exactly
those games and they put hours and hours and hours into them. Flight Sim, it's the kind of game that one person will probably only play Flight Sim, and that's all they'll play. So that a sub is probably going to be suited for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. I think at the moment they're probably breaking even or making very little profit. But as it progresses, they've just shown off 30 odd games that are there day one, just
Day
part of
one
that
as well,
sub.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
It's amazing, that is.
play it
That's
on what
Yeah.
you want, you're away.
crazy.
So-
Perhaps they might, further down the line, about like the different levels of Flight Sim, like premium ones. Maybe they'll have like a premium 25 quid a month. You can have that top end one. It wouldn't
maybe.
surprise me if they went down that route.
Well, that's the thing. Like you play Plus, or is that $12.99, and you get the
Yeah.
top tier versions of all of the games.
Plus, you get essentially all the season passes and all that sort
You
of
get
stuff.
all the DLC, every little piece of DLC that comes out for a game for $12.99 a month, and
Could
and
happen then. Yeah.
and all things like Watch Dogs Legions. You'll get the full version of that when it gets released. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, bosh, top version.
Yeah.
I've just found the article that I was saying about on here, and basically it says currently there's 372 games, though there are a few dual editions of some games, and it's done by marketing boss Aaron Greenberg has said a common refrain. So people have basically said, how the hell does Microsoft make any money out of this? If I were to buy only 3 games like Gears Tactics in the next year, that would set me back £150. With Xbox Game Pass, I can play as many as I have time for, and across the whole year, you pay less than £50. This is for the PC version.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So the marketing boss, Aaron Greenberg, has casually explained that it wasn't a big profit play, but it's a powerful marketing tool. It's a different mindset. You can say either how do we get as much profit out of each consumer, or do you pivot that opposite and say how do we add as much value to our fans? How can we actually over-deliver on value? And if you do that, you build fans for life. And if people feel like you're over-delivering on value, they want to not only continue to use your service, but they want to tell their friends about it. That is actually the most powerful marketing. It's word of mouth marketing, which is absolutely spot on. And they've literally at the bottom of this as well said, at the moment you can get your first month of Game Pass for £1. If you've not signed up, you might want to wait until Microsoft Flight Simulator launches. It's coming August 18th and would normally set you back £60. But this way you can fly around in the standard edition for next to nothing for at least a month.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and that almost echoes what they did with specifically the Xbox and backwards compatibility.
Yep.
Because they just introduced it at no extra cost, and then they just added and added and added until there were hundreds of games that were backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And you could just put the disc in, or you could buy it if you didn't own it, or whatever, and it worked. And I think that kind of earned that trust
Yeah.
that then fed into Game Pass. And it's kind
Definitely.
of still feeding into the new hardware because it all just works on it. It's just native.
Well, that's it. I mean, after seeing that reveal of all of the games and them saying all of the games are coming to Game Pass, I'm more tempted to actually buy an Xbox than the PlayStation right now. And that's something coming from me. You know, and the problem for me is obviously the only thing that would stop me from doing that is because my PC can run all the games just as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
This I suppose this is where the digital-only version of the next-gen console might come in. You know, if it's a good price, you can get Game Pass cheap. It's an all-in-one, really, isn't it? You know, it's plug and play.
For the casuals, the people who don't play too much. Oh, when you're paying us like a few quid a month, that's fine. I'll keep paying that. Like that's perfect for that. Even hardcores, it's perfect for hardcores, but they'll get more people because more casual players will pick it up easily. Pick it up.
It's almost like they've profiled gamers and really put some thought into it, and it's an almost perfect product, really, when you look at it.
The thing is, though, is Microsoft have always done that. They've always been better at providing the service. Sony have been better at providing the exclusive games.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's definitely fair to say. However, that tide, I wouldn't say it's turning, but Microsoft are catching up with the amount of studios they've bought.
Yeah,
and they've already
over the last couple of years.
Tease what they're making. Some of that looks wicked.
Yes.
Fable and Avowed and things like that are right up my street. They've got a lot of work to do in that area, but they're showing the start of that, I think, which is good.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, isn't it? Is that they are showing willing.
Yeah.
It's
they've
almost like
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say it's almost like they've realised that what they have done in the past wasn't the right way to do things. Yeah. I mean, they cancelled exclusives left, right, and centre, you know, and didn't cancel Crackdown.
Yeah, I actually quite enjoyed Crackdown for what it was. It was very dated, and it wasn't up there with Gears and Halo and Last of Us and that sort of stuff by any stretch.
Yeah, I just saw it as like a.
But it had Terry Crews. So.
Yeah, which I quite liked.
Yeah,
it was fine, but I was more excited about things like Scalebound that did get cancelled, the Platinum Games one, and things like that. So that was a shame. But hopefully, you know, with these acquisitions, and I'm sure there might be more in the future, we might start seeing that content.
Thing is, though, you may even start seeing third parties come in as well if they get Netflix offer, you know, companies money. If Microsoft start doing that, come on our Game Pass, obviously still be available elsewhere, but pop it on Game Pass. I would even see third parties starting to come to it as well.
I think you'll see a lot of Game Pass exclusives, like timed exclusives, potentially.
And I think
don't do that. That they don't allow it on any other platform. Like, say, restricted from like going to Sony or something like that for the third.
Well,
that'll be a bit.
There's always been timed exclusives, and it's literally just been whoever has been able to throw the most money at them. I
think generally with Microsoft these days, they tend to not do so much the timed exclusives by chucking money at the big developers, but they seem to attract the indie developers in. And say,
that's true.
Get it to us, and then you know, you can still release on the other consoles, but generally as an indie developer, focusing on one platform first tends to be a priority because, you know, smaller teams or sometimes just one person making the game. So I think they're kind of going at it less from that AAA third-party space and more for the people that really can't deliver a game to 5 different platforms all on launch.
Oh my days, you're subscribing.
So I can see them starting to partner with people.
Dr. Worm has just dropped his sub for 2 months in a row.
Nice.
Legend. How you doing, Dr. Worm? Hopefully you are well and ready for our jaunt into the back garden later. It's not a euphemism or anything. We're playing Grounded.
It does sound like it.
Hey Stu and the other Stu. I like it.
Talking of Game Pass, I dabbled in a bit of Grounded earlier today. Just to have a look at it. It's quite a neat little game. Look.
Good. I'm excited. But yeah, I mean, we need to move on to our feature because we're not even on the feature part of the podcast. We got caught up on
the feature Game Pass because it's wicked.
It really is. It really is. It's probably the best gaming service out there, I think.
Obviously, I'm looking at it as a PC side of it. And it's all the same as Xbox. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I mean, in fairness, that's only been in the last maybe 6 to 12 months that it's been that way.
Yes, it is. Ever since that Phil Spencer guy took over, he's slowly but surely gone.
That Phil Spencer bloke.
Phil Spencer.
Has he the guy at location?
He's got 2 jobs.
Yeah, but let's move on to our main portion of the podcast for the remaining 20 minutes, and that is the time for features. The features. I like it.
Feature time.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about accessibility, and it's quite apt that we have our social media graphics team over on the right-hand side of your screen, who are both colourblind.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate because one of the main colours that one of the team that are colourblind is pink. In particular, the thumb culture pink. And he only recently learnt that Twitch was purple.
I didn't even. It just looks blue.
Yeah, he always thought it was blue until I blew his mind and told him it was purple.
Dude.
Yeah, I can definitely see the purple.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
All right, let's not have a colour blindness off.
No,
here.
it's and that's the thing. Colorblind is not just one box. There's so many variations of it.
So many. Yeah.
It's like, and that's where I have to appreciate for devs because they can't always put everything in one thing. That's fair enough. But there are always sort of things you can do as well.
Yeah. So as a quick litmus test for this, what colour's that?
It looks green actually to me.
Yeah, well, green to me.
Like a lime green.
They can both see the green.
Yeah, I can see the green.
How about that? What colour's that?
That looks red. Red's fine.
Red.
Okay, so we've established they can see green and red, right? Okay, cool.
They're not colourblind at all.
They're not, are they? They're just talking bullshit.
Jay, I like your green t-shirt.
Do you know what the difficult thing is for me? Is I obviously being able to see the full spectrum of colours. I've never seen it as an issue to me, but I remember one story of you telling us, Stu, where you were playing something like Tropico or something like that, and you had to put. It was like a base builder type game, and you had to put down.
Yes. It was Tropico, the review I did actually.
Yeah, and you were saying how the reviews on the website thumbculture.co.uk. You were saying how you couldn't see when it said that it was confirmed that it was good because the color that every game generally makes it like the blueprint go is green. Yeah. So obviously green on green, even though for me and Jay and probably Dan, it's a different green. The thing is with
Tropico, they both look red for me. So the only way I could actually find out, there's a little icon in the right corner that occasionally had a tick or nothing. So long as I had a tick, I'm like, looks sweet, and then I'll put it down. That was the only way I could tell to put stuff down, because it wasn't just the grass; it was red on red, and like a dark reddy brown grass color. So it was just all sorts of like, oh, what's going on?
That does not sound good.
Yeah. So that's just something that a majority of people don't even think about. And I appreciate that because you're not going to, you know.
And interestingly, some of the bigger games recently have thought about stuff like this, which is good because I know Gears of War, or Gears 5, should I say, Last of Us Part 2, and even Half-Life Alyx have all sorts of accessibility options, which are impressive.
Yep. Even Call of Duty does. Or on Warzone the other night, I changed it. But the strange thing for me is I don't find the colourblind settings change much. They just kind of put hues over it, so it just...
Because you can't see them.
Looks a slightly different colour, so I don't know whether it's because my colour blindness is different to the filters it's giving me, or is it...
Am
I not seeing the colours again?
It's the best game I've seen for colourblind options, and there's a game I'm not a fan of, it's Fortnite. because not only does it change all the icons, it changes the whole game, and you can do different levels from 1 to 10. And you can specify how you, and it's got the the classic diagram, the carbide diagram. We got like the number in it, and once you can start to see it, that's usually pretty good for you to do. Like that's the only game I've seen have gone, boom, done it. There are other games like Battlefield that you could got colorblind mode, and same as a few others where they'll change the icons on the mini map, so you could at least see where people are. But usually the game doesn't usually change, because I appreciate that's a lot to do to change the whole game. You know? That's like trying to do several different games in one shot. But at least you can kind of do it. Like PUBG, I don't know if they change it. I haven't played for a while, but like on the mini map, it's not too bad. But when you got to tell people on the campus and they say, "Oh, Stu, it's the greenhouse over there," I'm like, where? Where's this green? Like,
PUBG was one of those ones where, because I was playing on low graphics as well.
Yeah.
A lot of it were just awful to play, and it was difficult actually seeing other players as well. You just assumed there was a bit of a grass or a bit of a wall or a tree.
So like I appreciate that's a lot of work. At least a lot of people fit in the category, as I call it, the EA category, where you change the icons on the mini map. So at least you know where you kind of go in and what's going to happen. Very rare do you see the Fortnite level. I play Gears 5 and they're pretty decent. They don't do it as far as Fortnite, but I think they have 3 levels inside each level, so you can have like harsher color blindness or not. So it's not so bad.
Okay. Yeah, Last of Us 2 almost took that to the next level, because it can even do text-to-speech stuff. It can have audio cues in there instead.
That's cool. You don't stand out.
No. There's a hearing mode, which is like your detective vision in Last of Us. And it kind of washes out the screen and you see faint silhouettes of things. But you can change the colour of the silhouettes and like items. So when you go into that mode, actually it might be a vibrant red or yellow or blue or whatever suits you and things. It's very clever what they've done with that.
That's good.
And then
I think
games
it's really
like...
good.
Sorry, go on.
I just think it's really good. Even a couple of years ago, there was just no options there for anyone with colour blindness. And now, even 3 options is amazing.
Yeah, the 3 different like categories of colorblindness is like, oh, okay, cool. At least it's that's one of the first things I always do whenever I play a game, is it any sort of colorblind mode.
It's just the downside though, is you don't know what the colours are meant to be, so you just like, does it look better? Yeah, it looks better. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a website I discovered when Gears 5 was in the news. I'll have to dig it out and post it on Twitter or something, because I can't quite remember it. But there's actually a website that reviews games for their accessibility. And I remember reading about them because they gave Gears 5 like their highest score at the time. And I'm sure they've probably looked at Last of Us since and things like that. So I'll have to dig out that, because I can't remember the website, unfortunately.
It'd be interesting to see that.
Yeah, they review games based on people being deaf, blind.
That's good.
Maybe motor issues and things like that.
Yeah. Like there was a game quite recently by Obsidian, was it The Outer World?
Yes.
Yes. The whole game is designed without accessibility options, but the whole game is designed to play regardless of what color blindness you got, what sort of sight seeing you got. Apparently they've done it like amazing, that you don't need to worry about colors and all sorts.
That's cool.
Like they thought about it on that level without you need to tinker with stuff. Now that is cool. That's something else. That's amazing. I should play it just to see how it works.
So let's catch on the chat.
It's called caniplaythat.com.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And a ex-member of the TC team writes for that.
Cool.
So yeah. Let's catch up with the chat. So Eagle Island has some amazing accessibility options, a lot of different colourblind modes. Game on Scorpio, welcome into the chat. He has tea. Something else that seems to have good accessibility, Grounded, apparently. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, cool.
And then Dr. Wilmer said, for games to not have accessibility options in this day and age is just lazy, which it is, really. I mean,
And it's still
It's
an
really
issue for
just
some things as well, because I mean, colour blindness is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
1 in 12 men and 1 in 300 women. There you go. That's the
Facts.
stats. Those facts.
But the other one, obviously, that's close to my heart is epilepsy.
Mm.
So, photosensitive epilepsy, any flashing images cause a seizure. If you have serious seizures, could potentially cause death. You know, if there's no warnings there, boom. You know, it's and not all developers understand what photosensitive epilepsy is either. So it could literally be a slow motion bullet that appears on a screen which flashes. They might not even think of something really small, but it could potentially cause a seizure.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I'm kind of like looking out for at the minute to see where that goes.
Yeah, the most you tend to get is a warning, isn't it?
Beware images could cause.
Yeah.
So well, that's no good because it's not.
Switch it off. It'd be good to be able to switch it off.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it would be good to have when it comes up on that section of the game for them to say this following section of the game rather than right at the beginning of the game before the game's even loaded on a splash screen. It would make more sense to have it. This chapter of the game contains areas of, that may trigger photosensitive. Do you want to play or skip? Simple as that.
An option would be very good. I've not looked for it, but I've never really seen anything about turning options like that on.
I've seen something.
Hold on,
which,
we are being raided by the one and only Mubaka. Welcome into the stream, people from Mubaka's stream. How's it going?
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Let's give them a little bit of music for them to enjoy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful music.
Naughty!
Thank you for the follow, Zazel HG. We are talking about accessibility in gaming. Have any of you guys got any experience with accessibility options? Are any of you colorblind? Any of you have epilepsy? Are any of you deaf or hard of hearing? It's a big thing. It's a big thing in gaming. Is the accessibility options, especially now.
Yeah, the one game we touched on earlier about Cuphead. I was really excited to play that game.
Yes.
And I got stuck on a particular level with ghosts. And I couldn't get over it. And my mate was like, "Oh, I'll come over. Let's have a look what you're doing." And I was playing it. He's like, "Right, you need to jump on that ghost." It's like, "Why are they all grey?" It's like, "No, that one is pink." Oh,
crazy.
Because
like,
pink things you can parry in the game.
Yeah, it's
That's
stuff like that. I'm like, literally the same colours. And he was like, "Oh, let me do that for you." I was like,
yeah,
okay. So it's just stuff like that. Where they focused on color. If they had like a symbol, but then I guess that's not the point of that little mini game. It's just catch of like, if they told me beforehand it uses X amount of colors, maybe I can skip it or something like that.
Yeah,
I couldn't get past that point, So it's just like, oh, okay. So it's just games I've come across like that where they just no thought.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, another really good example that I've come across, less about colour blindness and more other things, is Half-Life Alyx, which I reviewed for the site recently. Actually, for a VR game, so bear in mind you've obviously got a headset on, you've got controllers in your hands, you're meant to stand up and stuff. That's limiting for some people. So in the accessibility options, you can actually have it in sitting mode and even play the entire game one-handed with certain basic gestures and things like that. So they've put a lot of effort into making it accessible for physical sort of ailments and things like that, which is really good, as well as things like subtitles and text-to-speech and stuff like that in there. So that's really cool.
So I've seen on my trials, there's all sorts of different types of controllers, different types of people with all sorts.
Oh yeah, there's some amazing stuff out there. We saw them at EGX, didn't we?
Yeah. The thing is, even
Xbox.
some are actually for console as well, which was kind of...
One of the big ones was Microsoft actually worked with special effect. Good guy Microsoft again, worked with special effect.
That Game Pass,
full-blown a full-blown accessibility controller. A big company like Microsoft making something
actually
that
cared.
will never make money. They're never going to sell
on
enough
that
to pay-
particular part.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
Obviously,
is, they
it's good
look really nice
publicity
as
and
well,
stuff,
don't they?
but
They look
yeah,
nice, you know.
It's a nice premium thing, and they've made it where you can plug whatever you want into it. You can plug it into the Switch even. It's mad that they did that, to be honest.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, it's balmy, isn't it?
So if anyone knows who works at Microsoft, we are looking for Microsoft to sponsor us currently.
Yes.
We do mention Microsoft quite a lot at the minute.
Yeah, and
I would say
Game
you can
Pass
give us
is.
Game Pass, but we're all subbed.
Yeah.
Till November 2022.
Yeah. I think I just pay my monthly because it's £4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
It's bonkers for a big company like that.
Yeah.
To have gone. Actually, everyone should be gaming. Here's a thing to help that.
Yes, absolutely.
Normally, the big companies tend to look away from these problems. So.
Well, they always think, someone else will do that. There'll be someone who's looking into it. There'll be someone specialised in that. I tell you what, we'll leave it. We won't bother. We'll let them spend the money. We'll let them
plug it in if you want, but I'm not going to put the effort in.
Happened when I played ESO for quite a bit. There's no colorblind mode at all. There's no accessibility options at all in that game. And there's mods. I had to go and get a mod to change the colors of the AoE damage so I could see if it was good or not.
Wow.
But somebody went out there, but it's cool they did that, but it's like, oh really guys? You couldn't just...
Yeah, but you wouldn't get that on the console version of ESO.
No.
Yes, that's true actually. So I guess it just because there are no mods on the console version.
Xbox allows mods. I thought PlayStation did too now, but
some stuff
you can
they
mod
do.
some games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Game on Scorpio in chat says it's great that more devs are implementing features to help more people, and Coral has joined the chat. Coral, how are you? Hopefully you're well. But yeah, accessibility in this day and age is a massive thing because I think as well in currently with everybody being in lockdown for so long, lots more people are playing games that maybe wouldn't have played them before. And if these companies can get accessibility nailed down and allow more people to experience a wider range of video games, that is only a good thing.
It's just making it more inclusive, isn't it? And
I
suppose you look at it from a different angle as well. It might be that you have some issues with your hand, not from a disability perspective, but it could be an injury of some kind.
Yeah.
These controllers can help that as well. So it's if you're an avid gamer, an injury to your hand or your wrist or something like that, for example, won't stop you gaming. You can still get that gaming. You get your break away from whatever else you're doing. It's just good.
Well, that's it, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's the sad thing is that we've had to wait until 2020 to be able to say that these companies are doing a really good thing.
I remember back
it's amazing.
There was no such thing. I'm even talking, not even that 5-6 years ago. There's nothing. And half time, like, can I see what I'm doing? And I'm like, I can see what's going on. And half the time, I was like, oh, okay, I killed my teammate. Whoops, same color as the enemy. All right.
I think back in the day, I think the only issues I had with gaming were probably
that you couldn't,
football
that you were rubbish.
games.
You're rubbish.
Yeah, there was that. But there were football games. So the teams, they just merged into the green pitch.
Yeah.
Depending on
I had a lot of like first-person shooter, like the original Battlefield games, where it was just red versus green. So it was a lot of like, who is who?
Everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's the thing, the medium lends itself to this as well. So, obviously things like movies, board games, stuff like that, it's a thing that exists.
Yes.
You can't do this sort of stuff with a board game to cater it to X and Y and Z, or a movie because it's framed in a certain way or whatever. But games, you can change it like that with a tick box and things. So the fact it has taken this long is bad, but at least it is becoming the norm.
Yeah.
At least they're doing it properly.
Yeah. I had a go of a particular alpha game I played on the weekend. The first thing it did was accessibility. Do whatever you need to do it before the game even started. That's the first thing you've done. And I was like, huh, I like this. I like this.
That's what you want, isn't it? You want the game right at the beginning to say to you, right, do you have colour blindness? Are you hard of hearing? Do you have a physical impairment? You know, and then it goes, right, you've got, it's almost like a flow chart to a certain extent, isn't it? Before the game even starts, because at the end of the day, if you play a game, generally you're the only one that's going to play that game. So you want it set up to how you want to do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then it walks you through a way to do it. And I know the difficult thing is not everything can be included, because you would literally be there for hours going through all of this.
I always appreciate there's this medium ground of majority of stuff, a lot of icons, navigation stuff.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing can be changed. I appreciate the actual game can be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
I know there are filters out there, but there are, especially with a lot of the anti-cheating systems, actually detects it. So you can't actually use a lot of them on it.
Yeah, well, they just see it as a mod or some kind of...
Yeah, even Nvidia has one, and I've tried on PUBG, and I got banned. And I had to say to him, look,
so you got banned because of aimbot?
Yeah, I was going to say, it was because the
like
colourblind mod was called Shoot Him in the Head.
Yeah, Shoot Him in the Head.exe.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just stuff like, even the anti things actually pick up on. It's like, I can't even use a filter on my screen to play some games. But I appreciate that middle ground is enough.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think it's a start, isn't it? That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, these developers are paying attention to these things.
Yeah.
Now they are putting these kind of things in their games, and it can only get better.
Well, yeah, the more people use them, you know, it'll get noticed. The more people talk about it, it'll get noticed. I've noticed recently there's more deaf awareness out there, which is great. So there's a guy who I follow on Instagram, a shameless plug. He's called Luke Christian, and he just created a brand called Deaf Identity, and it's just the stuff that he puts on there. You don't actually think about when you're not deaf. And it just makes you feel so ignorant. So it's like the more people, you know, use all the tools they have to make people more aware, it's just it's great.
I wouldn't say that it's you being ignorant, to be fair. I think at the end of the day, like colour blindness, I had no idea that like the pink of the TC website, that Stu saw it as grey. Like when we were doing all of the new branding and stuff with all of the social images and stuff with the little pink gradient at the bottom, and she was like, I literally can't see it. He was literally flying blind.
Yeah.
If you don't have any of those issues, I don't think it's ignorant to not think of them when you're doing something. I think it's ignorant to think that nobody has them.
Yeah.
You know, if I turn around to you two and
it's more like a...
You felt a bit like naive.
Why did I think of that? Yeah. So you just kind of think, you know, everything's feature.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing. If I turn around to you two and I'm like, nah, sod you, you don't know what you're on about. You're not colourblind.
Arrogance than ignorant.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of ignorant arrogance, isn't it, to a certain extent? Yeah. You know, it's really difficult when it comes to things when you don't experience them yourself. It's like, you know, you see all these like army vets from America, and they've all got these like one-handed controllers. Like there was a Call of Duty guy who played with like one controller, and he was an absolute beast. And this guy had like one arm. You know, and you're like, wow, you know, like fair play. And accessibility, I think, in gaming is just the best that it can be. Yeah. Not at the moment, but it's the best kind of option that people can have.
Yeah.
I once got royally thrashed in a Tekken tournament by someone who could only use one of his arms. Kicked me out of the tournament.
Was he Lee, and did he just keep pressing square?
No, he was...
Because that's my move. Square, and then circle, X, circle. Yeah.
No, he played as... I think it was like Jun Kazama or one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming second, I think, in the overall tournament, and I got knocked out in my first match against him.
Excellent.
Because normally previous events, you're normally like third or fourth. I do fairly well at Tekken, and I just got destroyed in my first match.
So, Pixel Bar, Tekken Tournament, TC Tekken Tournament, TC Tekken Tag Tournament.
That's all I do in those games. Is get a control pad.
Yeah.
I do that like a clapping sound.
You're literally like
do a circle on the buttons.
Yeah, pretty much. Click, let's have a go. Yeah, and I guess some wins.
In the hope he does some kind of special move.
Yeah,
paddles on the back and just hit it.
Just give it a good slap. And
that's it. But lads, I think it's time to end the podcast there.
Yeah.
But for those of you watching on Twitch, do not fear. It's not the end of the stream. I will be back playing some Grounded with Game on Scorpio and Dr. Worm.
Accessibility options.
I will. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I will do now. I think the thing is.
There's one I saw when I played it earlier, and it's an arachnophobia option.
Right.
Because they discovered in playtesting, some people said, "Oh, I can't play this," and you can actually strip down a spider just to be a head with no eyes and things like that. So
I won't lie to you. I'm probably I won't lie to you. I'm probably going to play with my feet up off the ground. Do you remember that spider that was down on the floor that one time when we were doing the podcast? Never found it.
Don't hear about it. They just go kill flies, isn't he?
Is that one that's on your shoulder?
Say that again. The one that's on my shoulder. You forget I can see my webcam. But Dr. Worm said there's an FPS player that has a mouth controller. I think he plays Overwatch and wins tournaments. Apparently, though, the accessibility options for the spider makes it 10,000 times more terrifying.
I mean, just
what you're afraid of.
Yeah. But all that's left for me to say is, if you're watching this on Twitch, don't go anywhere. There will be a short hiatus where the game will, or the screen will, stop. But that is purely for me switching over from one webcam service to another webcam service. But we will be back. I'm going to go for a quick toilet break as well. But no, thank you very much for watching. This has been another TC Talks podcast with the four of us. We've got something very, very special coming up soon. I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to talk about it yet, because I haven't really asked. Stu's looking like really confused, like what you're talking about.
I actually know what this is.
Yeah.
The first time like ever.
Thank you, Tristan. Top episode. Stay tuned for some Grounded, where I get shrunk to a size of an ant and try and survive in a back garden. But all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Hello.
Bye.